The power of a morning routine is one of the most underestimated forces in a person's life. Everybody wants success, but few understand that success doesn't start when the world is awake. It starts when the world is still asleep. The first hour of your day determines the quality of every other hour that follows. The way you start your morning sets the rhythm, the mindset, and the momentum for everything that comes after. If you start in chaos, you carry chaos. But if you start in alignment, you carry peace, purpose, and power. The first hour shapes the whole day. When you wake up and immediately grab your phone, you hand your peace to the world before you even have a chance to speak to your own soul. You allow other people's priorities to become your distractions, but when you wake up with intention, when you give those first few moments to your purpose, you anchor your day in strength. Mornings are sacred. They are not meant to be rushed. They are meant to be ruled. The successful don't start their day by reacting. They start by creating. Discipline always comes before opportunity. Many people want doors to open, but they're not consistent enough to knock every day. A disciplined morning routine is not about perfection. It's about preparation. When you show up to your morning with commitment, you are telling your future that you are ready for what's next. Discipline is not punishment. It's positioning. Every great destiny is built on habits that nobody applauds. It's the unseen consistency that produces the visible success. In the quiet of the morning, clarity is born. There's something sacred about stillness. When the world is loud, you can't hear direction. But when you sit in silence, before the noise, before the rush, you start to sense divine guidance. Some of the greatest ideas, the deepest insights, and the most powerful revelations come in the first hours of the day when your spirit is still sensitive and your mind is not yet distracted. If you can win the battle of the morning, you can win the battle of the mind. Feed your spirit before the world feeds your mind. Most people start their day consuming information, news, messages, posts, but not revelation. You cannot operate in purpose if you start your day full of noise. Start with gratitude, with prayer, with reading, with reflection. Before you speak to anyone, speak to your source. Before you plan your schedule, align your spirit. When your morning begins with connection, your entire day carries direction. The world teaches people to chase time, but those who are grounded in spirit learn to command it. Consistency creates confidence. You don't build confidence by wishing for it. You build it by doing what you said you would do every single morning. When you keep promises to yourself, you teach your mind that you can be trusted. Every morning you wake up and follow through on your plan, your confidence grows stronger. It's not about how long your routine is. It's about how committed you are to it. Success is never built in one big decision. It's built in the small, quiet decisions that you make when no one is watching. Preparation always precedes elevation. You can't expect to rise during the day if you haven't prepared in the morning. The morning is your launching pad. It's where you decide your energy, your focus, your priorities. When you master your morning, you master your life. The reason some people stay stuck is because they wait for inspiration instead of building structure. A routine is not restriction, it's rhythm. It gives you the framework to flow with purpose, not wander in confusion. If you look at those who rise in excellence, they all have one thing in common. They don't treat mornings casually, they treat them as the training ground for destiny. They don't waste their mornings on distractions. They use them for devotion, discipline, and development. Whether you're working toward a dream, building a business, or trying to live a life of meaning, your morning hour. Routine is your foundation. You cannot build a skyscraper on a shaky start. So ask yourself, how do you begin your day? Are you reacting or are you creating? Are you scrolling or are you sowing? Every day, you get to decide if your morning will make you or break you. The morning is not just a time of day, it's a statement of faith. It's your way of saying, I believe something good can happen today, and I'm going to position myself for it. When you wake up tomorrow, don't just get up, rise up. Don't rush into the noise, sit in the stillness. Don't chase time, command it. Build a routine that feeds your soul, disciplines your body, and focuses your mind. Because when your morning changes, your life changes. The power of a morning routine is not about the clock, it's about the commitment. It's not about waking up early for the sake of being awake. It's about waking up with purpose. If you can master your morning, you can master your mission. And when you live from that place of focus and alignment, you won't just start your day for success. You'll start your life for greatness. The first hour of your day is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It's the seed that determines the harvest you will reap throughout the next 24 hours. Most people don't realize that the way they start their morning sets the spiritual temperature for the entire day. If you begin your morning distracted, rushed, or frustrated, you carry that same energy into every decision, every conversation, and every task that follows. But when you start your day with peace, focus, and gratitude, you set in motion a different kind of momentum, one that attracts clarity, confidence, and divine favor. Think of it like this. The first hour is your opportunity to plant what you want to experience later. If you plant chaos, you harvest confusion. If you plant stillness, you harvest strength. The first hour is not about how early you wake up, it's about how intentionally you wake up. Many people open their eyes and immediately check their phones, scrolling through other people's lives before even checking in with their own. They let the world decide how they feel before they decide how they will think. The problem is not that the day is bad, it's that they surrendered their first hour to something that doesn't serve their destiny. If you want to win the day, you must win the morning. The first hour is your chance to program your spirit before the world tries to distract your mind. It's where you remind yourself who you are and what you're building. Before the emails, before the meetings, before the problems, you must anchor your heart in purpose. When you give the first hour of your day to focus, gratitude, and vision, you take back control of your life. You shift from living reactively to living intentionally. That first hour is where champions are made. It's where clarity replaces confusion, where peace replaces pressure, where confidence replaces doubt. It's not about what time the clock says, it's about what your soul says. Because when your first hour is disciplined, your whole day becomes directed. When your first hour is focused, your entire day becomes fruitful. The first hour is not just time, it's training. It's where you build momentum for your mission. And if you guard it with purpose, the rest of your day will begin to align with the greatness that's already inside you. Discipline always comes before opportunity. Everybody wants doors to open, but few are willing to prepare when the hallway feels empty. Opportunity is the reward of consistency, not coincidence. Many people pray for blessings they haven't built the discipline to sustain. They want promotion without preparation, success without structure, and freedom without focus. But life doesn't work that way. The soil of success only responds to the seeds of discipline. You can't expect to reap what you haven't consistently sown. Discipline is not something that limits you. It's something that positions you. It's the invisible strength that builds visible results. The person who wins is not always the most talented or the most gifted, but the one who shows up every single day, even when nobody is clapping. Discipline is choosing to do what's necessary over what's comfortable. It's waking up when you don't feel like it, focusing when you'd rather drift, and staying consistent when everyone else gets distracted. The world celebrates the outcome, but discipline celebrates the process. You can't wait for the opportunity to be ready. You must become ready before the opportunity arrives. Discipline builds capacity. It enlarges your character so that when success comes, it doesn't destroy you. If you can't manage small things faithfully, you won't be trusted with greater things. Opportunity will expose what discipline did or did not prepare you for. That's why some people receive breakthroughs and lose them, while others build empires on the same ground. The difference is not luck, it's discipline. Discipline is the evidence that you believe in your future. It's how you prove to yourself and to the world that you are serious about your calling. Every act of consistency says, I am preparing for what I prayed for. When you develop discipline, you stop chasing opportunities and start attracting them. Because the universe, life, and even divine favor respond to order. You can't ask for abundance while living in inconsistency. The more disciplined you become, the more doors open. Not because of luck, but because discipline makes you ready when others are waiting. There will be days when you don't see results. Days when it feels like you're sowing seeds into dry ground. But discipline is what keeps you moving when emotions fade. It's what separates dreamers from doers. You can talk about potential all day long, but discipline turns potential into performance. When you learn to master yourself, opportunities won't intimidate you. They'll recognize you because you'll already be operating on the level that success requires. So, before you ask for a bigger platform, build stronger discipline. Before you pray for the spotlight, master your secret place. Before you ask for opportunity, commit to order. When you live with discipline, Opportunities won't have to find you. You'll already be standing where they arrive. Silence and stillness bring clarity. In a world filled with constant noise, most people never give their minds permission to breathe. They wake up and run straight into the noise of notifications, conversations, and responsibilities, and they wonder why they can't hear direction. But clarity doesn't come in chaos. It comes in quiet. When you learn to silence the world, even for a few moments, you begin to hear what truly matters. You begin to sense divine whispers, ideas, and instructions that can't be heard in the middle of distraction. Stillness is not laziness, it's alignment. It's the discipline of being present with your purpose before you rush into performance. Most people think productivity means movement, but movement without direction leads to exhaustion. You can be busy all day and still not move an inch closer to your destiny. Stillness allows you to separate what's urgent from what's important, what's noise from what's truth. When you start your morning in silence, before you check your phone, before you speak to anyone, you create space for wisdom to enter. There is power in pausing. The greatest breakthroughs often come in moments when you stop trying to control everything and allow peace to lead you. In silence, your thoughts slow down, your spirit steadies, and your focus sharpens. You begin to hear that inner voice, the one that reminds you who you are and what you're capable of. The answers you've been chasing often show up once you stop running. Clarity is not found by doing more. It's found by being still long enough to see clearly. When you sit in stillness, you strengthen your spiritual eyesight. You begin to recognize patterns, distractions, and opportunities that were always there but hidden behind the noise. You start discerning what aligns with your purpose and what pulls you away from it. Stillness reveals truth, and truth produces clarity. Every moment spent in quiet reflection is an investment in wisdom because it trains you to respond, not react. It helps you choose peace over pressure and direction over distraction. The greatest leaders, creators, and visionaries understand this secret. They don't just act, they align first. They know that the world moves fast, but destiny moves with direction. So they protect moments of silence as sacred. They use stillness as their strategy. You don't need to hear every opinion. You don't need to respond to every message, and you don't need to chase every opportunity. Sometimes the greatest strength is found in simply being still. If you can master the art of silence, you'll never live in confusion, because clarity isn't something you find outside. It's something that rises within you when the noise fades away. When your heart is still, your mind becomes clear. And when your mind is clear, your steps become confident. The world rewards speed, but success rewards clarity. So learn to pause, to breathe, to sit in silence, because in the quiet, you don't lose time, you find direction. Feed your spirit before the world feeds your mind. Every morning, you wake up with a choice: to start your day filled or to start it empty. Most people open their eyes and immediately feed their mind with noise. They scroll through social media, check messages, or watch the news before they've even spoken a word of gratitude. And then they wonder why their peace is gone before the day even begins. You can't expect to walk in strength if the first thing you consume every morning is confusion. Before you let the world speak to you, you must let truth speak within you. Your spirit is the engine of your life. If your spirit is weak, your direction will be unclear, your emotions will be unstable, and your focus will be fragile. Feeding your spirit means taking time to connect to the source that gives you strength, wisdom, and peace. It's reading, praying, meditating, and reflecting before you react. It's setting your intentions with purpose instead of letting the world dictate your emotions. The world will always try to fill your mind with fear, doubt, and distraction, but you have the power to choose what you feed on. When you feed your spirit first, you align your heart with your higher purpose. You remind yourself that you are not just waking up to survive another day, you are waking up to walk in destiny. You start from a place of gratitude instead of anxiety, from peace instead of panic. What happens inside of you will always determine what happens around you. If your spirit is grounded, your mind will be guarded. You'll stop reacting to everything and start responding with clarity and control. The truth is, your morning determines your mindset, and your mindset determines your momentum. That's why the most powerful people in life protect their mornings like treasure. They know that if you lose your first hour to distraction, you spend the rest of the day trying to catch peace you could have had from the start. When you feed your spirit before your mind, you give yourself the ability to face challenges without fear and to make decisions with discernment. You can't pour out of an empty cup. If you give the world your time before giving your soul attention, you will constantly feel drained and directionless. Your spirit needs nourishment, just like your body does. You wouldn't go a whole day without eating and expect to have strength, so why start your day spiritually starving? When you prioritize your inner life, everything in your outer life begins to fall into place. Peace becomes your posture, wisdom becomes your weapon, and faith becomes your fuel. Every morning is a spiritual transaction. Either you allow the world to program you, or you intentionally prepare yourself for the world. When you rise in gratitude, when you read words that uplift, when you pray or meditate before you perform, you train your mind to follow your spirit, not the other way around. That's how you stay grounded in purpose while the world keeps spinning in chaos. So before you pick up your phone, pick up your peace. Before you talk to people, talk to your source. Before you feed your mind with information, feed your spirit with inspiration, because the person who wins the morning wins the day, and the one who feeds their spirit first will always walk through the world full of power, clarity, and calm. Consistency creates confidence. Confidence doesn't come from hype or motivation. It comes from repetition, from proving to yourself that you can be trusted with your own word. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, every time you follow through on what you said you would do, you are building internal evidence that you are reliable. That evidence becomes the foundation of your confidence. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present, persistent, and patient enough to grow. Most people want to feel confident before they act, but confidence doesn't come first. Consistency does. When you keep doing the right thing long enough, confidence shows up as a byproduct. You start realizing that you don't need to wait to feel ready. You create readiness through repetition. Every morning you commit to your goals. Every day you stay disciplined. Even when emotions fade, you strengthen your belief in yourself. Confidence is built in private through the daily decisions no one applauds. Consistency is the bridge between intention and manifestation. You can have a powerful vision, but without consistent action, that vision remains a fantasy. The world rewards those who don't just start strong, but stay steady. When you practice discipline day after day, your mind stops doubting and starts believing. You begin to trust your own process because you've seen what your persistence produces. The more consistent you become, the less you rely on motivation and the more you depend on momentum. True confidence isn't loud, it's quiet certainty. It's the calm assurance that comes from doing the work repeatedly until it becomes a part of who you are. Consistency transforms your habits, your thinking, and your identity. When you do something long enough, it becomes natural. And what was once effort turns into instinct. That's why confident people move differently. They're not guessing, they're grounded. They've trained their mind through consistent effort to operate in excellence automatically. Don't mistake consistency for monotony. Every repetition refines you. Every day of showing up shapes you into the person capable of handling greater opportunities. Confidence isn't born from success, it's born from endurance. The days you keep going when nothing seems to happen are the days that define you. Success is built one disciplined morning, one focused hour, one intentional decision at a time. So if you want to walk with unshakable confidence, stop looking for quick results and start building consistent habits. Do it when it's exciting, do it when it's hard, and do it when no one's watching. Because every time you stay consistent, you are rewriting your belief system. You're teaching your mind that you can depend on yourself. And when you reach that place, no setback, no failure, and no opinion can take that away from you. Consistency is the proof of belief. It's how you show the world that you're serious about your purpose. When you move with that kind of steady faith, your confidence will no longer be something you have to create. It will be something you carry. Preparation precedes elevation. You can't expect to rise to new levels while living with old habits. Many people want to be elevated, but they haven't yet prepared the foundation to hold the weight of what they're asking for. 11. Tian doesn't happen by accident. It's the natural response to preparation. You don't stumble into greatness, you grow into it. Before every promotion, there's a period of preparation. Before every public reward, there's a season of private refinement. Preparation is proof that you believe something greater is coming. When you prepare before you see results, you are showing faith in what's unseen. You are saying, I'm ready for more, even if it hasn't manifested yet. Too often people wait for opportunities to show up before they get ready. But true success belongs to those who are already prepared when the opportunity arrives. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you rise to the level of your preparation. Preparation sharpens you. It builds character, discipline, and endurance. It's what strengthens your foundation so you can handle the weight of success without collapsing under pressure. If you're praying for elevation but running from preparation, you're not ready for what you're asking for. You can't expect to carry a crown if you're unwilling to carry the cross that shapes you for it. The process that feels uncomfortable is often the training ground for your next level. Every great victory is won long before the battle begins. Champions don't just perform when it matters. They prepare when no one is watching. It's in the unseen hours, the early mornings, the quiet sacrifices that true greatness is forged. Preparation may not look glamorous, but it's sacred. It's where you build the habits, the focus, and the spiritual strength that will sustain your success when you finally step into the spotlight. Elevation without preparation leads to collapse. The higher you go, the stronger your foundation must be. That's why preparation seasons sometimes feel lonely. They're designed to build what the public won't see, but the pressure will test. If you skip preparation, elevation will expose you. But when you embrace the process, every test becomes training, every delay becomes development, and every waiting season becomes a building season. Preparation is not punishment, it's positioning. It's not about waiting for the right moment, it's about becoming the right person. The doors you are praying for will open when your preparation matches your potential. So instead of asking, when will it happen? Start asking, am I ready for it when it does? Because life will always elevate the prepared. When you prepare with intention, opportunities find you. When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Every minute spent developing yourself, every hour spent improving your craft, every morning spent in alignment is a seed for your future elevation. So don't despise the preparation, embrace it. Because the stage is coming, and when it does, your preparation will make sure you don't just rise, you stay there. The power of a morning routine is not just about waking up early, it's about waking up with purpose. Every great life is built, not in moments of inspiration, but in moments of intention. The first hour of your day determines the flow of your entire destiny. When you start your morning with focus, gratitude, and discipline, you are not just managing time, you are commanding your future. Discipline will always come before opportunity. You can't wait for doors to open before you start preparing. You must prepare until the doors have no choice but to open. In the quiet of the morning, clarity is born. Stillness is not a pause, it's power. It's where your mind becomes focused and your spirit receives direction. When you feed your spirit before the world feeds your mind, you protect your peace and strengthen your purpose. You stop living in reaction and start living in revelation. Consistency builds confidence, and preparation always comes before elevation. You don't become successful overnight, you become successful over time through daily choices that align with who you are becoming. Every morning is a divine opportunity to create momentum, to shape your mindset, and to remind yourself that you are not running from life, you are rising to it. So tomorrow when you wake up, don't rush into noise, rise into purpose. Don't seek comfort, seek clarity. Don't chase time, command it. Your morning is your foundation, your sacred space to align with destiny. When you master your mornings, you master your mind. When you master your mind, you master your life. The power of a morning routine isn't found in the clock, it's found in your commitment. Because when your mornings are disciplined, your days become directed, your weeks become productive, and your life becomes unstoppable. Start every day like your future depends on it, because it does.